Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. With the Spain News Update, we'll take a look at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the Spanish press, and we'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers. Before I begin, a huge thanks to all of the people that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's by buying me a coffee, whether it's through the Super Thanks option on YouTube, longer-term supporters on Patreon, and the channel members of this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for that support. Now, straight into the news. And as we know, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez currently in China. He's there for some type of forum between the two countries, but he's also trying to stop a trade war between China and the European Union, which could affect Spain. And as we can read here, Pedro Sanchez appeals for dialogue between China and the EU. A trade war would benefit no one, he says. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has emphasized the need for a negotiated solution to the tariff tensions between the European Union and China. Sanchez stated that a trade war benefits no one. He made these remarks during a meeting in Beijing with the Business Advisory Council of both countries, which followed his participation in the inauguration of the 9th Spain-China Forum, the first event on his agenda during the visit. Beijing recently announced an anti-dumping investigation into certain pork product imports from the EU in response to Brussels' tariffs on Chinese vehicles. This situation could impact Spain, as it is the leading exporter of pork to China. So there we go, and one thing is clear from that article, and it is that the Chinese love Spanish pork products, and obviously Mr. Sanchez wants China to continue importing and buying these products. So we'll see if the Chinese listen to the Spanish Prime Minister or whether they crack down on EU imports in retaliation for those European Union car tariffs. Second piece of news now, and immigration here in Spain still making headlines, and as we can read here, Spain's Interior or Home Ministry statistics disprove the link between immigration and crime. The false stereotype of immigrants as potential criminals, fueled by Vox and increasingly adopted by the PP, does not align with social science studies. However, it persists and resurfaces periodically despite counter-arguments. Science does not align with populism. There is no doubt. There is no direct link between migration and crime, says Elisa Garcia España, professor of criminal law and criminology at the University of Malaga. The perception is so strong, the stereotype and prejudice are so powerful that, as American sociologist Ruben G. Rambout says, it's a zombie idea. No matter how much you counter it or prove it's not true, it remains alive, she adds. Fear of immigration has once again entered the political agenda, and social media, coinciding with the Catalan elections and the crisis in the Canary Islands. So, fairly clear what the experts are saying on this matter, that there is no direct link between immigration and crime, despite what some right-wing and far right-wing politicians would like to make us believe. It's a zombie idea apparently, and it's one of those ideas that never seems to go away. Third piece of news now, and related to the last article that we just saw, and it is that the prosecutor's office in Spain has warned that hate crime reports increased by 300% in 2023. In Spain, hate crimes are on the rise. According to the most recent data from the state prosecutor's office, reports in 2023 surged by 300% compared to the previous years. Of the 511 cases reported, the majority were related to racism and xenophobia, followed by cases of LGTB phobia. In general, we can say that there's an increase, but it's hard to quantify. Miquel Mascarian from the SOS Racismo told TVE. The report itself acknowledges that not all regions allow for the consistent recording of these crimes, leading to lost information. Social media has also become a breeding ground for this type of discrimination, where the possibility of anonymity promotes impunity for aggressors. According to the report, almost 4 out of 10 hate crimes in 2023 were committed online. So there we go, the internet and social media behind the increase in hate crimes in Spain in 2023. Because it's so easy for some idiots to say whatever they like about anything they like without the fear of getting punished for their words. And in in recent times hasn't this become an issue? And the final piece of news now related to the drug smuggling operations in the south of Spain, and 35 drug smuggling boats were seized in August in the Gulf of Cadiz and the Guadalquivir River. In August, the Civil Guard seized 35 boats used for drug trafficking in the Gulf of Cadiz and the Guadalquivir River, 5 of which were high-speed vessels and 30 smaller boats used to supply fuel and provisions to the more powerful ones. These operations are part of the Ministry of the Interior's 4th Special Security Plan for the Campo de Gibraltar, aimed at combating organizations involved in drug trafficking along the entire Andalusian coast and the Guadalquivir River. According to the Armed Institute, 5 vehicles, over 6,000 kilograms of hashish, 173,918 packs of cigarettes, and 47,146 litres of fuel were also confiscated. Also, on the 25th of August, in the area of Los Caños de Santa Petri in Chiclana, Cádiz, 6 boats and 15,450 litres of fuel were intercepted. And if you want to know what types of boats we're dealing with here, the types of boats that these drug smugglers in that part of Spain are using, this is an example. And as we can see, a huge outboard setup on this boat. 4 250 horsepower Yamaha engines, and of course that type of outboard power on a boat that size makes it very easy for them to get away from the authorities. And just in outboard engines alone, the cost of that boat is over 100,000 euros. Wow! Now let's have a look at some comments that have been left on the channel recently. One here from Hombre del Campillo. If the Chinese don't want Spain's pork products, send them to the USA. Spain's pork is better than ours here in the USA. I bet the Canadians will take them too. Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, hombre, thanks for the comment, and that's the big story of the week so far. Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez in China currently trying to convince Chinese leaders not to ban European pork products. Because, as we have seen, Spain a huge exporter of pork into the Chinese market. I can't say whether Spanish pork is better than US pork because I've never tried pork from the United States, but I'll take your word for it. One here from Ken. Spanish pork products are extremely expensive in the USA. Example is €4 chorizo costs $18 here. There are other countries Spain can sell to. Yeah, Ken, thanks for the comment, and you're right, there are other countries that Spain could sell their pork products to, but of course, as we know, everybody wants to sell in that Chinese market because it's a huge market. And most importantly, the Chinese love their pork. And are you really paying $18 for a €4 chorizo from Spain in the USA? Wow, sounds like a bit of a rip-off. And to be honest, I don't know whether it's worth it because I certainly wouldn't be paying that much for a Spanish chorizo. One here from Marsha. I lived in China for many years and never saw any pork from Spain. Cured pork was always from Italy. Yeah, Marsha, thanks for the comment. And I think Spain's biggest competitor when it comes to the cured pork market is Italy, maybe Portugal as well, but I think Italy is the main competitor. And of course, Italy has been exporting its pork products around the world for years and years, whereas Spain, I think, is a recent addition to the international pork market. And when I say recent, probably around the last 10 to 15 years, but don't quote me on that. And as we saw in the first article that we looked at today, Spain is currently the leading exporter of pork to China. So take that, Italy. One here from Janook. Too expensive for Spaniards to vacation in the south of Spain now. Yeah, Janook, thanks for the comment and referring to an article that we saw in yesterday's live stream about how Spaniards' holiday patterns are changing. Fewer Spaniards have gone on holidays in Spain in 2021, and they're also changing destinations. Not so many Spaniards going to hot Mediterranean destinations anymore. They're heading to cooler climates in the north of the country. So not sure whether it's a cost issue or if there are other factors involved. One here from Jen. I refer to Barcelona as Disney Spain. It's cheeky. I will still go, but only for a few days at a time before fleeing. Yeah, Jen, thanks for the comment, and that is also something that popped up in yesterday's live stream. People complaining about how many European destinations have become theme parks similar to a Disney theme park. And Barcelona is just one of many European destinations that could now be classified as a theme park. But you could probably add to that other cities here in Spain, like for example Madrid, Malaga or Valencia. And the reason is that there are just so many tourists in some parts of the city that you don't see any locals. And that for many people is an issue. One here from Paul: banning these crazy scooters, good. The city will be much better and safer without them. I hope they ban them here in Australia. They are a blight on every city. Yeah, Paul, thanks for the comment and the topic of e-scooters. You either love them or you hate them. We saw last week that Spain's capital city, Madrid, has had enough of hire e-scooters and announced the ban on them. And lots of people, especially pedestrians in Madrid, are breathing a sigh of relief because they can now walk through the city without the risk of being hit or run over by one of these vehicles. And I wonder how long it is before other cities here in Spain follow Madrid's lead and ban these hire e-scooters. And the final comment here from Surfer: I hope you can do a video about the squatters in Spain. Yeah, Surfer, thanks for the comment and good suggestion. A video about squatters here in Spain. In fact, I wouldn't have to go far to film that video because in this very street where I live, there is a house occupied by squatters. I could just set up a camera out the front and film the goings on, and believe me, it would be entertaining because some of the people that come in and out of this house, I've never seen anything like it. There's constant arguments going on between the occupants of that house, screaming every day of the week, and things that they don't need, they just leave them in the street. For example, a mattress has suddenly appeared in the park across the street from them, and the other day, a broken office chair was put next to the mattress. Unbelievable. The police have been called there nearly every week for the last 3 months, so I don't know what's going on. But like I said, I'll set a camera up out the front and it might become a hit show. On that note, I'm going to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you have anything to add to the conversation today, the comment section is the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.